Coco Gauff's former coach adds further doubt to Jannik Sinner's team situation ahead of the U.S. Open. Jannik Sinner will look to be the first ATP player to complete a successful title defense at the U.S. Open since Roger Federer in 2008. The Italian clinched a maiden crown in New York last year after defeating home hope Taylor Fritz in the final, securing his second of now 4 Grand Slams. Ahead of a return to Flushing Meadows, his North American hardcourt swing has already started with a withdrawal, as Sinner pulled out of the Canadian Open, continuing to recover from his Wimbledon campaign. Despite his triumphs on the tour, the world #1 has rejigged his coaching team recently. Sinner reappointed former fitness coach Umberto Ferrara a month after parting ways with athletic trainer Marco Panici and physiotherapist Ulises Badio. Amid speculation of more changes in his team, Coco Gauff's former coach, Brad Gilbert, has weighed in on the situation. Brad Gilbert calls out fake news about Jannik Sinner's coaching situation. A report from Italian news outlet La Repubblica stated that Sinner's head coach, Darren Cahill, would not be at the U.S. Open with the 23-year-old and would, instead, take a short break. Taking to X, formerly known as Twitter, Gilbert replied to an account that shared the story, stating, "For the record, this is completely fake news." At the Australian Open earlier this year, Sinner confirmed that his player-coach relationship with Cahill would come to an end following the conclusion of the 2025 season. The Wimbledon champion has come on leaps and bounds under the wing of the Australian, who had previously coached Simona Halep, Leighton Hewitt, and Andre Agassi. Jannik Sinner's success with Darren Cahill in his coaching team. Sinner appointed Cahill in July 2022, when he was ranked 10th in the world at the age of 20. The following year, he went on to reach the semifinals at Wimbledon, which at the time was his best finish at a Grand Slam event. Then, in 2024, everything started to click for Sinner and Cahill, as the young star clinched 2 major titles and emerged victorious at the ATP Finals. So far this year, he has added another Australian Open title to his name, as well as a Wimbledon championship. Jannik Sinner, fresh off his Wimbledon 2025 triumph and poised as reigning U.S. Open champion, readies himself to reclaim the New York crown. Yet instead of forehands and footwork, it's whispers of uncertain allegiances in his coaching box that have captured headlines. At the center of the swirl, Brad Gilbert, Coco Gauff's former coach, and his decisive declaration that has thrown cold water on speculation. Performing Arts Act 1, Rumors that Ignite. Late July 2025, Italian media outlets, notably La Repubblica, reported that Darren Cahill, Sinner's long-term mentor, would skip the U.S. Open, opting for a family break. The narrative painted Simone Vagnazzi as the sole strategist in Flushing Meadows, downgrading Cahill's role to sidelined observer. Wikipedia, +15. The Tennis Gazette, +15. Sportskeeda, +15. This rumor arrived at a fraught moment. Sinner had recently dismantled much of his support team, reintroducing controversial figures like fitness coach Umberto Ferrara, previously removed after a doping scandal. Suddenly, stability seemed in short supply. Wikipedia, +8. Reuters, +8. News.com.au, +8. Microphone Act 2. Gilbert's mic drop. Enter Brad Gilbert, a legend in his own right and Gauff's former coach, who took no time dropping a social media bombshell. Responding to rumors on X, he wrote, "For the record, this is completely fake news." Gilbert's unleistic phrasing cracked open speculation. Cahill would indeed join Sinner in New York, and headlines labeling his absence were clickbait at best. The Tennis Gazette, +4. Sportskeeda, +4. The Times of India, +4. That rebuke carried weight. Gilbert's pedigree, having guided Gauff to U.S. Open glory and coached legends like Agassi and Roddick, lent authority to his reputation. YouTube, +9. TalkSport, +9. PFSN, +9. Man Juggling Act 3, Uncertainty behind the scenes. Yet Vagnazzi, speaking on behalf of Sinner's team, conceded ambivalence. Honestly, nothing certain at the moment, but we'll all be happy if Darren stays. News.com.au, +15. Essentially Sports, +15. Tennis 365, +15. Cahill himself had earlier signaled an endgame. He planned to retire following the 2025 season, Sinner's team being his last. But whispers of him possibly staying into 2026 emerged after Sinner's Wimbledon win. The Times of India. +5. Essentially Sports. +5. The Times of India. +5. So while Gilbert battles rumors, the French and Wimbledon champions' inner camp remains perched on a knife edge. Is Cahill committed, or already edging toward the exit door? Cyclone Act 4. Ferrara's return, and the PR gamble. Parallel to Cahill rumbles, Sinner reappointed Umberto Ferrara as fitness coach, a dramatic reversal from last year's scandal. Ferrara had been dismissed after WADA confirmed contamination of Sinner's doping test, yet he returned just ahead of Sinner's North American swing. Wikipedia. +13. Tennis 365. +13. Essentially Sports. +13. Wikipedia. +8. Reuters. +8. The Times of India. +8. This fueled fresh criticism. Former champions called it one of the most astonishing PR moves in tennis history. Emotionally, the return of Ferrara seemed to reflect both a gamble and a trust-based strategy. It sent a message that only performance mattered. The Sun. Tennis Act 5. The feature match. What it means. In tennis, perception matters as much as power strokes. For Jannik Sinner, the drama surrounding Cahill's presence, or potential absence, casts a shadow over what should be a routine title defense. If Cahill is truly there, it reinforces continuity. If he's wavering, it raises questions. Can the number one player maintain mental sharpness amid internal limbo? Gilbert's clarity offered a moment of reprieve. His blunt dismissal of the rumors reinscribed confidence. The core coaching team, Cahill, Vagnazzi, and now Ferrara, stands incomplete only by uncertainty, not dissolution. Tennis 365. +1. The Times of India. +1. Still, some rifts remain unresolved. Does Cahill plan any gradual retreat? Will Ferrara's reinstatement fracture team cohesion? And how will Sinner navigate pressure if off-court speculation becomes louder than on-court deed? Puzzle piece epilogue. The U.S. Open as catalyst. As the U.S. Open looms, these dynamics become critical storytelling. Sinner, the defending champion, fights not only for the title, but for narrative control. With Gilbert debunking falsehoods and Vagnazzi revealing that nothing is guaranteed, the uncertainty lingers as part of the tournament's backdrop. Yet one thing is clear. Whatever happens in New York, the tennis world will watch. Sinner's legacy hinges on how he handles adversity, both within the court and behind the scenes. Will Daniel inside remain silent, or will Cahill's possible departure, or steadfast presence, inspire a Wimbledon-class crescendo? Time will tell. Until then, the press may see fog, but Gilbert insists the team is still intact. White heavy checkmark summary focal points. Italian media falsely reported Cahill would skip the 2025 U.S. Open. Brad Gilbert responded, calling it completely fake news. PFSN.